My girlfriend laughed and said, "What, are you going to dump me?" After I caught her texting her ex. I didn't say a word. I just walked into the bedroom and started packing. Her laughter died the moment she saw what I was shoving into my suitcase. I'm 31. Last Wednesday, I was chilling on the couch, scrolling through my phone, while my girlfriend, Eliza, 28, was supposedly working on her tablet next to me. We'd been together for 3 years and had shared an apartment for the last 18 months. Suddenly, her phone pinged. She grabbed it, quickly angling it away. It was a small thing, but I noticed. Then she smirked, that specific smirk she used to give me when we first met. Another ping. Another smirk, typing with both thumbs. Completely absorbed. "Who has you smiling like that, Eliza?" I asked. "Just Tara, sending a funny video." Something was off. Tara, her best friend, was on a road trip with her fiancé, which Eliza had been posting all over social media. "No service," she had said. The phone pinged again. This time, I managed to catch the notification before she snatched it away. "Still thinking about last weekend." From Jake. Jake, her ex. The one who had been long gone and meant nothing. "Jake is texting you?" She froze. And then she did something I'll never forget. She laughed. She actually laughed. "So what? It's just texts. You said you blocked him." "I did block him, and then I unblocked him. We're just friends." "Friends who can't stop thinking about last weekend?" She kept smiling, saying, "God, you're so dramatic. What, are you going to dump me?" That dismissive tone, the mockery, the absolute certainty that I would just swallow it. I didn't answer. I stood up and headed for the bedroom. "Where are you going?" "We're talking." No, she was laughing, and I was done talking. I opened the closet, grabbed my suitcase, the one I'd bought her for our trip to Italy last year, and started packing. Not hers, mine. She followed me, still amused, until she saw what I was doing. "Eliza, are you packing your stuff into my suitcase?" I ignored her. I packed my shirts, trousers, work clothes. "Hey, what are you doing?" I grabbed my toiletries from the bathroom, razor, lotion, toothbrush, and threw them in. "This isn't funny." "Neither is being cheated on." I kept packing. "Stop acting like a child. I just texted an ex. What's the big deal?" I zipped the suitcase and rolled it to the door. I grabbed my second bag for round 2. "Are you seriously giving me the silent treatment?" She kept pushing. I packed my sneakers, gym clothes, gaming console. "Fine, I'll block him again. Happy?" I opened my laptop, looked up extended stay hotels. Found one 12 minutes away, honest prices, no long-term obligations. Booked it. "Eliza, you aren't actually leaving over a couple of texts." I took the documents from the drawer, birth certificate, passport, tax forms, into a folder, and the folder into the bag. Her tone shifted. The laughter vanished. "Okay, wait. Let's talk about this." Now she wanted to talk? Funny how that works. I ordered an Uber. 7 minutes to arrival. You can't just walk out. This is insane. It was just messages. I opened my banking app. Luckily, we didn't share accounts, but I had been paying for everything. Rent, utilities, groceries, her car insurance, her phone bill. Time to fix that. Canceled her insurance, effective the next billing cycle. Removed her number from my plan. Stopped the autopay for utilities. I deal with the landlord later. "Eliza, what are you doing on your phone?" I showed her the screen. Her face went pale. "You canceled my insurance?" 6 minutes to the Uber. "I need a car for work. Should have thought about that before mocking me. Please, let's talk. I'm sorry about the messages." It's funny that she was sorry I was leaving, not that she was texting her ex. I headed to the kitchen, grabbed my coffee maker, toaster, pressure cooker, things I had bought. They were all coming with me. "You're taking the kitchen stuff? My stuff? My blender?" 4 minutes to the Uber. "This is crazy. You're throwing away 3 years over nothing." "Nothing?" I opened her conversation with Jake on her phone. Yes, I knew her password. Her birth year. Original. I scrolled up. 2 months of messages. Flirting, photos, coffee dates. Last weekend, She claimed she had a work seminar. The photo geotag showed she was at his place. I held up the phone. Her face collapsed. Eliza, that's not... We didn't. 3 minutes. I started taking photos of the apartment. My sofa, my TV, everything mine. Evidence for later. She had been living for free in my place, using my things on my dime, while sneaking around with her ex. Stop. Talk to me, please. 2 minutes. I texted my buddy Ryan. Need a place to crash for a couple of days. Eliza was cheating. Heading to a hotel tonight, but might need a plan B. He replied, What? Yeah, man. The rooms are open. 1 minute. Eliza was already panicking, grabbing at the suitcases, trying to unpack them. You can't do this. Where am I supposed to go? I shrugged. Jake's apartment seemed available. 30 seconds. I'll cut him off. I'll block him right now. Look. She was scrambling, trying to block him. Too little, too late. The phone vibrated. The Uber had arrived. I grabbed the bags, my laptop backpack, the folder with my documents, and headed for the door. Please, don't leave. I love you. She froze by the door. I stopped. I turned around. I finally spoke. What was it you said I should do? Exactly that. Dump you. I left her standing in my apartment, which she couldn't afford, without insurance, without a cell plan, without the boyfriend who had been funding her life. The Uber driver helped load my bags. Good guy. Moving out? He asked. Something like that, I replied. Eliza blew up my phone the entire ride. Calls, texts, voicemails. I muted her after the 6th call. I had more important things to do. The first 2 days at the hotel went by in a blur. Ryan proved to be a real friend. He stopped by to check on me with a couple of pizzas and helped me make a checklist of things to handle regarding the apartment documents, since the lease was in my name. On the 3rd day, my phone vibrated again. It wasn't Eliza. It was the landlord. Hey, Eliza is claiming that you moved out and abandoned the apartment. She wants to transfer the lease into her name. What should I tell her? I smirked. She didn't even try to apologize. She went straight to a territory grab strategy. Tell her the lease is being terminated in 48 hours, I replied. I've already prepared all the termination papers. The apartment will be empty by Thursday. 5 minutes later, a barrage of calls from Eliza began. I didn't answer, but I sent a text. I don't live there. I'm not paying the bills, and I have nothing to do with you living there. Work it out with the landlord yourself. She moved on to threats. Messages flew in one after another. You can't just kick me out. I have nowhere to go. I don't have money for a new deposit. I called Ryan. She's trying to guilt-trip me, I said. She's telling me she has no money. Dude, Ryan replied. She's lived on your dime for the last year and a half. She had a job, she had her own money. She just got used to spending it on herself while you paid for the basics. Don't fall for it. He was right. It wasn't about having no money. It was about losing the free service she had taken for granted. On Thursday, I stopped by to pick up the last of the things that didn't fit in the car the first time. Eliza opened the door the second I touched the handle. She looked ragged, no makeup, wearing the same clothes she had on 3 days ago. That influencer polish had evaporated the moment the comfort disappeared. Please, let's just talk, she whispered, blocking the path. Jake, he's not like you. He doesn't take care of me. I made a mistake. I looked at her. I really looked at her. Not at the girl I had fallen in love with 3 years ago, but at the person who had laughed in my face when I was vulnerable. You didn't make a mistake, Eliza, I said, grabbing a box of books from the hallway. You made a choice. For 2 months. Every time you pressed send in a chat with him, you were choosing him over our relationship. Every time you went to his place while I was at work, you were choosing him. Now, you're just living with the consequences of your choices. She tried to grab my arm, but I pulled away. Good luck with Jake, I added. I hope he at least knows how to pay the bills. I walked out, closed the door, and for the first time in a long while, I felt my shoulders relax. Ryan was waiting for me downstairs. We headed toward my new place. A small studio apartment I'd rented for the time being. No exes, no lying smirks, no bills to pay for two. Just silence. And it was the best silence of my life. 6 months later, I was grabbing a coffee downtown when I saw her. Eliza. She was walking with Jake, and honestly, they looked miserable. She was dressed in worn-out clothes, looking nothing like the polished person she tried to project, and they were arguing right there on the sidewalk. She looked older, tired, and definitely not like she was living the high life. She saw me. I didn't stop. I didn't even change my pace. I just gave a polite, detached nod, the kind you give to a stranger you vaguely recognize, and kept walking. That moment was the final piece of closure. I'm in a much better place now. My new apartment feels like a home, not a hotel. I focused on my work, traveled a bit, and finally started doing the things I used to put off because I was too busy keeping someone else afloat. It's funny how much energy you get back when you aren't pouring it into a black hole. I still think about the day I packed those bags sometimes. Not with sadness, but with a strange sense of pride. It was the hardest thing I'd ever done, but it was also the first time in years I put myself first. I learned that you can't change people, and you certainly can't bargain for respect. When someone shows you exactly who they are, believe them the first time, and then make sure you're already halfway out the door when they realize you're serious. I'm happy. I'm free. And for the first time, my peace isn't up for negotiation. Walking away is never just about leaving a person. It's about choosing yourself. We often stay in toxic situations because we think we're being loyal or kind. But there is no kindness in allowing someone to diminish your worth. The best revenge isn't bitterness. It's simply becoming the best version of yourself and living a life so full that you don't even look back at the wreckage you left behind.